was here at the meeting. He was here at the meeting.
Oh, Mr. Okay. Y'all, I think he just gonna get in where he fit in. You know, I don't want to prolong anybody's time. Mr. Watson gotta go to Bible study, and we want to respect that. Could you please, thank you, Dr. Bowler, could you please turn your phones on silent so that we can get started.
Sports Center, all in there.
All right, can everybody come to the circle, please? And thank you. And so, amongst different cultures, particularly the Native American culture, the circle is sacred. There's nobody in front, there's nobody behind. Everybody's side to side, and they are part of a whole. And that's what we're working to build here in the great city of Tallulah. A place of wholeness, a place where we're working together in order to achieve a common goal. And with that being said, will the candidates please introduce themselves and tell us something about you that we may not know? Don't everybody start at one.
Well, I'll go first. Good evening, everybody. My name is Yvonne Lewis. I am the interim mayor for the city of Tallulah now. I will be running for the office of mayor of Tallulah. I am a graduate of University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Lived abroad for a number of years. And one of the things, I always say this every time I'm asked this question, one of the things that a lot of people don't know about me is Tallulah saved my life. And I'm very, very grateful to this town. So I'm incredibly happy to be here with Zamora, with your organization tonight, especially what you're doing for kids. This gives them an opportunity to ask us questions tonight, find out what we want to do. What's the succession plan for our kids? And I think that's why we're here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we'll keep going to her right. Miss Found, it's you.
Hello, you guys. My name is Candace Fountain. I am a product of Tallulah. I graduated high school in the class of 2013. I went to the Grambling State University. I see my alumni people right here. I obtained a BA in history because I like to research. I wanted to know more about my people. And when you study history, you got to understand what happened so we can understand why things are the way they are today and what we can do better for the future. I also received the MA in social science with a concentration in history. My end game is to be a history professor at a university. A thing people do not know about me, I would say I'm very adventurous, if that makes sense. So I like to know things, I like to see things. And my plans, my hope for Tallulah, I know everybody can't leave. I'm one that decided to stay. I am younger, so of course we could have went anywhere if we chose to do so, but I decided to stay home to help build the community. We don't really have a workforce here, so for people my age that want to come home, because everybody don't want to go, they want to be at home because we love Tallulah. My goal is to help us get a better workforce. So it's nice to meet you guys, and y'all will be seeing more of me.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Says on now. Good afternoon. My name is Arthur Lee, and I am also a candidate for the office of mayor. Something you don't know about me. I don't know. I don't know that much about me. Let's see. I've had the opportunity in my work life, in my work adventures throughout my career. I've had the opportunity to work on panels with individuals like the late Reverend Jesse Jackson as as his campaign manager in 84 and 88. With Mayor Andrew Young, the first black mayor of Atlanta, first black Secretary of State for the United States of America. And I've had the opportunity to sit down and get a couple of dinners with a couple of presidents, President Carter and President Clinton.
Good evening. My name is Thomas Mitchell. I'm a mayoral candidate for the city of Tallulah as well. Some things people may not know about me. Retired military guy. I attended Southern University.
There you go. I intend to say that too.
All rules, okay.
There you go.
You hear me now? This is small room. We don't need it.
Well, can you project so that we can get you on camera? Thank you, my lord.
Yeah, my name is Thomas Mitchell. I'm running for the office of mayor. Back to what I was saying, I'm a retired military guy. I've held one of the highest security clearances in the United States head office. I've been approved by the U.S. Congress Senate, let's be more specific in some categories. Master General is more famous than you know. Master General followed me off over a lot of the world as I travel. I always keep in touch with Tallulah by Master General. I even had a column in there for the poets who write poetry and stuff like that. I put that block in there too. Poetry poem. But been around, I've been written about Tallulah since I've been here, so I'm a homegrown, Tallulah born, Tallulah bred, and probably Tallulah dead when I go.
Good evening, my name is Tommy Watson, and probably the only thing that y'all don't know about me is I broke my arm when I was in the first grade. Everything else y'all probably know. Because I only left for a few months when I graduated from Louisiana Tech. I went down South Louisiana for about 8 months. And I came back home, and I've been here ever since. After I graduated from Tech, and I moved back up here. I went back to school and got a bachelor's degree from Northeast. And I've been here ever since. Of course, I'm running for the City Council for District 3. I have served on the City Council in the past. Actually, I think my total time on the City Council served for about 20 years, 22 years or so like that. And I like to think that I did a pretty good job while I was there. I consider myself to be a civil person. And what I mean by that is I'm one that can listen. I don't argue. And my hope is to bring some civility. I'm an honest person. I do shoot from the hip because I believe that hiding truths and what have you, it's not going to get us far. I'm a supportive person. My intention, and from my experience, I know that this has to happen. Whomever is running for city council is going to have to be supportive of whoever sits in the mayor's seat. And I have pledged my support and continue to pledge my support and cooperation tonight in front of you as witnesses, that I will support and work with whoever sits in the seat. To the citizens of District 3, my plans are not to go to City Hall and fight for you. We've had enough fighting. My intent is to go to City Hall and work for you. We have not had enough work. So those are my plans and my goals, and I hope the voters of District 3 will find confidence in me once again. I'm retired now, and I'm not going anywhere. So Tallulah's gonna be my home, and I've been telling people this: win, lose, or draw, I'm gonna work for the betterment of Tallulah in some capacity. So I hope that you all will accept that.
Good evening. My name is Leandro Mitchell, and I'm from Tallulah. I was gone away about almost 22 years. I lived in Austin, Texas. While living in Austin, Texas, I learned about politics. I learned about infrastructure, and I saw a lot of changes because the neighborhood we lived in went from a agricultural area to a metropolitan area. So it was like, in a matter of a couple of years, it changed from like a little countryside to like a modern day city. And I've seen a lot of that go on, and I went to a lot of the meetings that they had, and I saw a lot of things that was conducted in the way they conducted them. I am a very conservative person, but I am also a very objective person. What I have to say, I say it, and I try to say it in the right way. And I'm here to serve District 3, just like Mr. Watson said, not to fight for District 3, because it is an embarrassment on the city. When you hear from people living all across the United States, I saw y'all on TV, I said, no, you didn't see me. You saw them, you know. But anyway, I'm here to support whoever is mayor, whoever is councilman that I have to work with. I'm going to work hand in hand with them to support them. And I see a lot of new things happening in Tallulah for the city, but one person can't do it alone.
That's right.
And we asking for all the citizens who know better to do better. Look at your candidates. Know their background. You know, you don't go to the grocery store and buy fruits and vegetables and throw them in your basket. What you do, you examine them. They might be rotten, they might have a bad spot on them. You want to make sure whoever you put in there is strong enough and intelligent enough to vote the right way. So in a couple months or whatever, you won't say, you know, I heard about them, but you know, I just didn't know who to vote for. Now is your time to check your background and your candidates, see what they stand for. And I really enjoyed the time I've been back into Tallulah, but it hurted me so much to see no changes made. And we do not hold our people accountable. If you want something done, you're supposed to go to the representative in your district, and it should be something done about it. If not, the next time you come to vote, hey, look at somebody else. You know, you got to know something about these people, because we got enough politicians in Tallulah. We need some leaders.
Thank you all so much for those introductions. Now, as we know and we understand, Tallulah's problems did not begin when we decided, or when you all decided to run for office. So please tell us about your platform and where have you gotten in your vision? Tell us about your vision and where have you gotten in your vision? Do we need to play popcorn? Somebody start. All right, Mr. Lee, you looked at it too long. Go ahead.
Again, I welcome the opportunity to be as a candidate for the office of mayor. And on my platform is, as I said, my platform is built around leadership, experience, and a vision for a healthier and more prosperous Tallulah. And you do that by, with, again, teamwork, cooperation. We have to, in my vision, and I agree with something I think Mr. Mitchell said here, and I think the other candidates agree with. is that we have fallen victim to past leadership that did not continue to have a vision for the future of Tallulah. Those individuals, while they have done the best, they did the best they could. They did not bring others along with them and who shared that vision. And if you share, and again, if you elect the mayor, then my goal again is to work to build and to bring along with us the youth of our community, to train them and give them the mantle that says, now it's your turn to move forward and take care of Tallulah. My goals again are built around what I do professionally right now. I'm in and out of town, and a lot of people say, well, he doesn't live here, which is not true. Because I work for the Department of Homeland Security, doing disaster work, assisting in things. My goal again is centered around rebuilding the infrastructure of those towns that are damaged by hurricanes and floods and whatever other natural damaging occurrences that happen with them. And so my goal again is to do the same with Tallulah. When I came, I lived in Seattle, Washington for 35 years. And when I came back to Tallulah, one of the first things I did is I worked with a group of what we call at-risk youth. I got them involved in a mentoring program, and we did some IMC. And working with youth is always one of the things that I'm always committed to, again, because they are the future. Youth and our seniors. Our seniors, because they are the reason we are where we are, and we've been able to achieve what we have achieved. But and again, our youth is our future, and I hope that as a part of my platform, it says I'm looking for a healthy, and all my goals are centered around rebuilding Tallulah, rebuilding the infrastructure of Tallulah, so that the citizens can experience and look forward to a future that is visionary and that they want to be a part of, and that there are those individuals who don't live here who actually want to come home, and we want to build Tallulah. We want to rebuild Tallulah back to that place where it once was the hub of the community, a hub of this region, and now it's not as Mr. Mitchell said earlier. It used to be the hub of the community of this region, and now it's become a humorous spot, a place in our country, and that is sad. I just believe that we can make a difference. We can make a difference, and if we're doing this together with the individuals who have a positive vision for Tallulah, then Tallulah is going to be what Tallulah is always meant to be in the future.
Yeah. At this point, you all, we're going to be having a conversation. And Mr. Lee, you said that when you got back, you worked with at-risk youth with the YMCA. So which YMCA did you work with?
We worked with the Vicksburg YMCA.
Okay.
What we did was when I came back, I've been doing volunteer work with youth and with the YMCA and youth programs in the Seattle area, and I knew that the YMCA had programs that allowed for allowed for low-income individuals to participate in the YMCA. And so what we did was I joined in with the Vicksburg YMCA, and we developed a program of 5 cities: Fort Gibson, Vicksburg, Natchez, Tallulah, and what's the other one? There's one other one. But we did several retreats with those individuals, and as part of that follow-up, I got permission from the director of the YMCA to bring kids over on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 12 noon to give them total access to the YMCA and what it has to offer in terms of learning learning about organized recreational activities.
And how long ago was this, and how long did this program last?
The program lasted, the program, we started in 15, and it took some organizing. But again, we ran into some obstacles, and it's unfortunate that there were individuals who were not in support of the program. And so the unfortunate thing is at the same time that we were organizing the program, along came COVID. And with COVID, everything and everybody shut down. And we were not able to get that program back up and running.
And a part of the issues, we're talking about in Tallulah is sustainability. Because we are gonna run into some issues. Sometimes we have to pivot, but we're looking at sustainability because those issues did not stop. The problems with our youth did not stop. And although we had COVID, we have to look at how to problem solve throughout whatever, because we gotta keep going, we gotta keep moving forward. And so we really appreciate you, and we appreciate your wealth of knowledge, and we just wanna encourage you to keep moving. If this is a part of your vision and your plan, we have to figure out how to sustain it and propel it.
In speaking of with what he said, all of us were talking about being able to work together, and he didn't mention this, but my church worked hand in hand with them. They borrowed our buses to transport the kids from time to time. So I just put that in there to say that the spirit of cooperation needs to work, and it can work here in Tallulah. If we all just buy into each other's vision. That was a good thing that they were attempting to do, so we had no problem buying into that, to do our little part, just a little part of, helping to provide that. It works.
It's a part.
Yeah, it works.
We all do things together. We all benefit.
Exactly.
And a part of our vision, look, we already changed Tallulah. You have a vision that's similar to his vision, and somebody else has a vision that's similar. So if we put all of the people that have similar vision together, that's how we make the biggest impact, because you may have access to resources that he may not have, and vice versa. So yes, Mr. Watson, I do believe that. Mr. Mitchell, did you want to?
Yeah, I was going to, and everybody was going in depth, so I will, to a degree. Let me get right to the meeting while we're here. And that's for all the candidates, not just one running for mayor. While we're here, while people are running for offices, I'm running for mayor because I cannot waste another 4 years of stagnation with getting nothing out of it. I like to see the next 4 years in Tallulah. Something eventful, something positive come out of people running for these positions. Whether they stay in a position or they're new, they need to do things that will make things move forward. But 4 years, I can't think of anything memorable in the last 4 years that comes to mind. I wouldn't plan to be a candidate, but I didn't think I was prepared for the job. Part of what we do, you should be prepared for the new job. You can't just jump up and say, I want to be mayor, and you can come with qualifications to do the job. And because I say I can, I think I can, you need to come with some skills to do the job. And you're saying it is not going to make it happen. And I can honestly say, because I am prepared to meet the challenges of Tallulah, that if people will not just hear, but listen to the information that's coming out from the candidates, look and listen with them individually, but for sure, the person who's running for the job, in every respect, they need to have the knowledge, skills, and abilities and experience to do the job. You don't want to put Tallulah behind. You want to put a candidate in that seat.
And Mr. Mitchell, right now, we're talking about your vision and where you have gotten in your vision.
We can pull back on that. Let's not get up to the 30. But anyway, the vision is this. My ultimate vision is for the citizens of Tallulah to own every business in Tallulah. How's that possible? It's possible to plan. They say you have to make a visionary of the city's thing. Every citizen of Tallulah should be part of the ownership of Tallulah. I see a vision where the citizens of Tallulah can own every business in Tallulah. But you gotta find the division. I'll get more in depth because I'll be coming out with more detailed information, but that's the vision that I see for it, as opposed to us. Someone else come here, take over business, we get no profit, we get nothing positive out of it. Except we're paying the bills, they get the benefit of it. So it can be done. I'll spell it out when I get on a simple platform where I can share more information with everybody. But we got to do it together. One of the first things I did was talk about a vision. One of the first visions I had, I came to Louisville, I think in 2019 I came here. I wrote a memorandum to every authority in the city. Police, jury, president, mayor, even current mayor, even before he sat in his seat, he had a letter waiting for him. Say, Tallulah, we gotta do things together. If something is needed, all of us pitch in on it. We gotta transfer money, whatever has to be done, it needs to be done together. Until we don't worry about your piece and your piece and your piece, it'll move much slower. So we need to get all the forces together, all the authorities to get on the same page. So we're doing things in a single force here, as opposed to, the pieces look good, but the big piece has to come together. So the big vision is what needs to happen with movement and sharing. Actually, sharing is a good thing. Nothing wrong with that. But that's my total vision. I have many other visions, but tonight it meets the requirement to give you my ultimate vision. That's my ultimate vision. And I'll talk more specifically about how we can do that.
And
Ask questions.
No, Ms. Bailey, this is one thing I just found on my mind. I remember several years ago when Tallulah Lindsay, he's running for re-election. And I asked all the candidates during that time that was running for mayor. I asked them, I said, if you all do not win the mayor's race, whatever vision you have for mayor, if you do not win it, are you willing to share your vision with who's in that position? And one of the things that really bothers me is that everybody has a vision for Tallulah, but if they do not get in that seat, you never see the vision. So what has to happen is that whatever my vision is for Tallulah, if I'm not elected as the mayor, or if I don't get in the city council seat, do I care enough about Tallulah for it to thrive and prosper? That's my biggest concern. Because, let me finish. Because we always have a vision when it's time for us to be elected. But if I do not get elected, I disappear. So where do I care about my kids in the 4 years when I'm not mayor? See, the youth can't be important to me when it's time for election time. I deal with them every day. They're not gonna fool with you when you come fly by night. They want somebody that's there every day, that's present. They'll often tell you, Ms. Hazel Lucas told me when I was in 3rd grade, they don't care about how much you know until they know about how much you care. See, I can't care every 4 years. My caring has to be every day. And everybody wants to be married. Everybody. But everybody not willing to put in the work with the people. So until we start doing this, we're going to prosper. We got to identify what the problems are. And people always saying, well, Wells, you focus on the past a lot. I do. Because if we never deal with the mistakes we made in the past, we're never going to go forward. And we can't act like stuff has been done right all the time. My grandmother Annie B said, if you start off wrong, you're going to end up wrong. So since I've been on the council, my thing is identifying what those problems are and straightening those problems out. We can't act like the problems don't exist. We're not going to have no youth programs. We're not going to have no infrastructure dollars that we don't count for money. No matter, if you don't have dollars, you can't have no type of programs until we just spinning wheels making good speeches. People are going to only lend you money when you have money. So if you don't have dollars to match with some of these grants, you're going to end up with nothing. And since I've been on the council, I'm big about money because we can't have nothing without money. The saying is, you don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And if we can't account for money, we're never going to have nothing. So if we're gonna move this town forward, we gotta have finances. And our finances has to be in order. So we can have all these visions in the world. How you gonna pay for it? How you gonna fund it? We can do grants all we want. Grants ain't gonna last a long time. When you say sustainability, we got to generate our own revenue outside of grants. We may have to increase our tax base, our property tax. Those are things we got to start thinking about long term. So when Addie gets older, she'll have something. When my son DJ, when he gets older, we can have a recreational program or a center that they can come in on the weekends. Find some land, purchase land. We have a boys and girls club, but you got to have money to do that.
If I may, because
I know you gotta go. Okay, go ahead.
We have to find a way to educate people. Now, people I really do believe that there is a margin of people in Tallulah that are getting education, getting educated to things now. And what I'm going at, I told y'all I have to be honest, I have to shoot the truth. People are not gonna buy all of this stuff that we've been trying to sell them, like we have in the past. One thing about Tallulah that people, there's still too many people don't know. Tallulah doesn't have any money. We always talking about people fighting over money. Tallulah doesn't have any money to fight over. What's our general fund budget?
Right at $3 million.
$3 million. That's what I think you were going to say. And you talking about cities that are thriving like West Monroe and Ruston and other places that are thriving. Their budgets are probably 4 or 5 times bigger than that. So, like Mr. Wells said, there's no way you can buy anything if you don't have any money. And we're going to have to make the hard decisions as to how we're going to find money. And I really do hope, nobody runs off the assumption that we're going to grant our way out of this thing. Because as Mr. Wells says, you got to tell people the truth about it. You got to have money to get the grant. Because most of those grants out there are matching grants. But to the uneducated person, I hate to put it that way, they may not understand that. And all they're saying, well, we can get a grant, and then Monroe got a grant, and Dale High got a grant, but they had money to get the grants. And we don't. So this administration, whoever you are, you got to make some hard decisions in order for us to be lifted up. And if we don't make those necessary changes, then we have no other choice but to relive the last 4 years. To get different results, you gotta do different things.
And Mr. Watson, before you go, because I know it's time for you to go almost, what is your vision, or what is your plan? Because like you said, a vision without a plan is just a dream. So what is your plan for our youth? Because we talk about all the time how they're constantly in trouble, or they're doing this and doing that, and they don't have access to this.
I appreciate Dr. Butler being here because of the fact that we are going to have to find a way to sew the school system and the city and the police jury to sew us together. Our kids in the school system know very little about voting, about politics, and how things are run. Now, when we don't educate them on the truth of how the political system is run, they'll graduate and then they'll adopt the same misnomers that the rest of the society had, uneducated about it, and not willing to take part in it. My vote don't count, my vote don't matter, and things like that. So that's definitely one of the things that I will support the rest of the council and the mayor in doing. Because basically, when you're talking about city council, basically the main role of the city council is support. You know, we don't run day-to-day operations and things like that. You know, we set forth plans and hopefully everybody will agree with it and then we'll go with that. But as far as the youth, yes. Even when I was back on the council, we did our best to try and start Boys and Girls Club here. We met with, what that guy named Pete something over in Monroe, that was over the Boys and Girls Club over in Monroe at that particular time. But we never had the money to do it. We never had the facility, you know, to do it. You know, so you have to have resources in order to do. I can't go shop at Louis Vuitton if I don't have Louis Vuitton money. It's just not gonna happen. You know, and right now, you know, $3 million, and somebody gonna think $3 million is a lot of money. That's no money to run a town off. That is no money to run a town off. You know, and I'll throw myself out there. I'll throw myself out there. I got my property taxes. This past year. And I'm honest with myself. I know I can afford to pay 3 to 4 times more than what I'm being charged. I know I can. Just think of where we are. If we could just simply, in the beginning, double the city's budget. If we come up with a plan where we can, just starting off, double the city's budget.
And so,
and I would support every effort to do that.
And yes, I love that. And so when we ask these questions tonight, I want us to start thinking about policy, systems, and environmental change. And us being specific about what it is that we want to do, who it is that we can partner with, what resources are available. And if you all, and I know you're on your way out, if you all pick up a packet, we have questions, and it teaches us about policy systems and environmental change. And it also teaches us about SMART goals. And it helps us to dig through and dissect our vision. And when we follow this in the next go-round, we're going to have a form that allows us to just be specific, because we have to create a plan. We can't just say, oh, I want to do this, or oh, I think this is good. We have to have a plan of how to get these things done, and we have to know what's out there.
This is a quick thing right here.
I'm coming.
Mr. Watson alluded to something very interesting. The city has a recreation budget. The police jury has a recreation budget. We should be able to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement. Get with Dr. Butler and the school board, Ms. Gutchingham, and come up with a plan that where we can utilize the school facilities as part of our recreational centers. Of course, we have to do liability, so we partner with our school system. The city works with the parish. Our biggest problem is we really don't want to work together. But we got too many separate things to go. Instead of the city partner with the parish, we won't do that. If we would come together with those recreation dollars that the city and the parish have, the city puts $15,000 in recreation. That's ridiculous. It should be more. We get with the parish, find out how many dollars they got, and get with Dr. Butler and the school board, find out if we can utilize their facilities. That way we can come in, if we have to pay like $1 something just for using the facility, something to do. Charge the kids for coming in, we provide recreation opportunities for them. You know, so it comes down to all of us sitting at the table with an open mind, and then get with your, you got retired coaches that can serve as your directors of your program.
We serve the same people.
We serve the same individuals. So if we sit at the table with people that's done this stuff for years, because Mr. Reeves ran recreation at the high school for years by himself. You know, you have to pay $1 to come in and play basketball in the evening. We have basketball courts, you know, you got a football stadium, you got a track, but we can actually have a true, we don't have to have a Boys and Girls Club. We got facilities now with Dr. Butler investing in the facilities, we doing the track, we did the weight room. We can have a recreational center on our school campuses. But it comes down to us partnering with him in the school system.
Can I just follow up with him? I think there may be an organization, a group that has already met where all the government entities have come together to sit down and talk about those things. Dr. Butler, you may have been at that meeting.
The chamber?
No, not the chamber. The Port Commission.
Nobody knows about it.
What's her name? I can't think of. Kamika. call that meeting. And I think one has been, only one, and they're in the process of trying to do exactly what you're saying. Pardon?
If everybody, if we all know, then we can.
No, I'm just saying.
I understand.
That the work has been done. It's for those who don't know to know about it and get involved.
But see, that's the thing. How are those that don't know are gonna find out?
Well,
See, you can't meet with 3 and 4
I mean,
people.
that could be overcome. You could overcome that.
Yeah,
It's
see,
a matter of getting those people who sit at the tables that make those decisions and come together.
Can I inject something here, please?
Before we, no, I'm gonna let you speak, Mr. Lee.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, alright, I know, but I feel the frustration, not an impact, I feel everything. Alright, so, we're gonna go clockwise, is this? Okay, alright, and we're gonna come back to you, because I wanna give the candidates an opportunity. This is a night for them, for you all, and we've already spoken to you, and I know Mr. Wells, and Mr. Wells is here, you know, because this is he's already elected, he's already been positioned, so this is somebody we're gonna be working with, and he's been on the council. So we need to get his wisdom in the room, and we have to keep going. I know Dr. Bowler also has something to say. So next we'll get Interim Mayor Lewis, and then we'll go to Dr. Bowler, and then we'll keep going around. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mitchell. I do apologize.
I had something I wanted to interject a while ago.
Before you even interject, just go ahead and tell us your vision,
Okay.
and where have you gone in your vision?
Okay, my vision is to see a thriving community with nice roads, okay, 2 city parks, 2 recreational centers, and a liberal arts center. No matter what your kids, whatever they like to do, if they like to draw, they want to be a ballerina, or whatever, you'll have somebody to volunteer their time to come in there and teach them. If they want to learn martial arts, or whatever. It'll be a liberal arts center, okay, you got 2 recreation centers, and you got clean roads, and, you know, giving the kids something to do, because, you know, a lot of us, I'm not gonna say a lot of us, but some of us, you know, we don't have that energy anymore, you know, but our kids need something to do, and they got an interest in doing more than just sports, basketball and football, because I talked to a lady the other day, she said, that's all y'all about basketball. I said, no, if nobody else come up with anything else, I said, liberal arts center would be good, but, you know, I'm only one person, but anyway, I see the city thriving, not just with the recreation, the 2 parks and all that, but thriving economically. You know, they have what they call a conference of mayors. They meet around the country 3 or 4 times a year with the legislature. They tell people about businesses that they're trying to put in small communities to help them grow. So we need a committee, somebody to, you know, to jump up there and get on that plane and go up there to those meetings, wherever they may be. They're not always in Washington. They might be in Atlanta, might be in Jackson. But we need people with that type of mindset to go out, bring something back, and sometimes they even tell you when they got money open, and they tell you you need to come apply to it because it's gonna be gone. So things like that, we need people who gonna have their heads up, who's looking out, and who's willing to go, you know, and talk to people and get money coming in, you know, because that's what we need right now. Because the next 10 to 15 years, we're not gonna hear about no more grants, you know, because we see what happening in the White House right now. So that's about it.
So where have you gotten in your vision?
Well, I have gotten as far as, okay, working with the kids and keeping them out of trouble, as far as after school tutoring and after school recreation. I work with the AAU, the kids in basketball from pre-K up to 12th grade, and they love the program, you know. And it's something that, it is a grant by, what's the name of this, 21, Central Program. And that's how they got it started, because they had to read into it, what else can we do with this money? And they said, well, after school program. So we say, if you want to be a part of the AAU program, you got to participate in tutoring in order to, come. And then we read a little bit deeper, and we had kids coming from Vicksburg and Newarton and other little places around here, and then we had to stop them because they wasn't a part of Madison Parish, So anyway, my vision was helping bring kids off the street to get them involved in doing something. And I may not got them all, but I got some. And some good things coming out of it. Some of the kids played AAU basketball, they got scholarships, they're going to college, and one of them called me and said, Coach, he said, I'm going to school, I'm so glad. He said, I'm getting 2 checks. And I told him, just don't mess it up. He said, I'm getting 1 check for personal reasons, I'm getting another one, pay my rent and all like that. I said, well, that's good, because most kids don't get that experience, But anyway, that's my vision, bringing the kids into the limelight, giving them something to do.
How long did this program last? How long did you contribute to this program?
Oh, I've been doing it, I started in 2014, I've been doing it about 11 or 12 years.
You're
And
still
I don't
doing it?
get paid for it, yeah.
Okay, all right. Because a part of your vision was you create new infrastructure, and like Mr. Wells said, we already have these buildings.
Right.
How do we got the community center, boy, the community center know it be coming through in the clutch, and it's for free, and so we have these facilities, we got, this new playground equipment up here. And so we need to best utilize and bring the community out to these specific places. We already got what we need. And I want us to understand we're thinking about these lofty things when all we have to do is start at ground zero. We have what we need. We have the people we need. We got access to the resources that we need. We gotta stop thinking that we just out here. We can just out here and we got it. Okay, I'm sorry,
Okay, so to clear up just a couple things as we go around, the meeting that Ms. Johnson was talking about, we did sit down with all of the entities, the jury, the court, the city, and everything, just to have a collective meeting to say this is what we need to be doing. So there are going to be ongoing meetings that everyone will be invited to. But at the end of the day, you can't bring everybody in town to the table because nothing will get done. So that's typically why the heads of the organizations are there, and then they take the information back to whoever their boards are to share it. Now, there are going to be times when the boards have input, and that's what they're there for. So just know that as those meetings go forward, the boards will be involved, and their ideas will come. The other thing that we tried to kick off is getting chamber going back again. If you don't have a strong chamber, then when businesses do want to come, they don't know who to reach out to, because typically in the city they would go to your chamber. So those are just a couple of things that are in the works again, coming back. So my vision is, what I'm not going to do is overpromise and underdeliver, okay? Because you don't know what that job is until you sit in the seat. And everybody can have every thought that they want about it until you sit there and understand all of the things that you're responsible for. So what I did when I first came in, the first thing we had to do was try to stabilize the city finances. And that meant stabilizing spending that these city employees were doing, because it was just kind of out there. So now every purchase order has to come through me. Anything over $100, I have to sign off on it. I sign all checks that go out or whatever. And like we said, the general fund budget is $3 million, water budget is just about $2 million, the sewer budget is just about $1 million. That's not a lot of money, you guys. That's not a lot of money. So what I do agree with Councilman Wells is, there probably are going to have to be some conversations about property tax increase. If you want good roads and those sorts of things, that's where that money comes from. there's only a limited amount of places where money come in, okay? Through property taxes and through video franchise, those sorts of things. So the bucket of money is small, so we have to do what we can with it. To speak to what you were saying, you're right. We do have a community center. What we did just a few weeks ago, I invited all the kids out. Come out, let's do some martial arts, let's do some boxing, let's see what you guys are interested in. And I had set it up to start in March for every Tuesday and Thursday in March for those individuals who facilitated that event to come back and do that every Tuesday and Thursday in March. Unfortunately, the gentleman got a job in Maryland. So, and that's what happens in the real world. So I reached out to some counterparts in Monroe. We've got a boxing guy who's gonna come over the last couple of weeks in March. And then on the last Saturday in March, we're gonna have a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. And that's gonna open up the community center, open the rims back up so the kids can come in and play basketball. Dr. Butler and I actually sat down with a group called Country Boys, right? They've given him a memorandum of understanding. They've given the city one, which we've given to the council. But it really is trying to work with all the kids to have football, to have basketball, but to also have enrichment things as well, okay? Everybody's not gonna play sports. Some people pay, okay? Some people wanna code. Some people wanna do all different types of things. So we look at the athletics of it, we look at the enrichment portion of it, and then we gotta look at kids just wanna be kids sometimes. What y'all used to have, record hops, right? Maybe we need to have a couple over the summer, a junior high one, a high school one, so the kids can just come out and be kids, right? Again, we're not going to be able to start a full-fledged recreation center unless there's some money coming in, and that's where we all can sit down together. But we can start, like you said, with what we have. And I will tell y'all this, when Tallulah was thriving and doing all of these different things, you know what y'all had? Y'all had volunteers, okay? That's very hard. We have tried T-ball, we have tried everything, and it's hard to get people to volunteer. Not to say that it can't happen, and not to say that maybe we were asking the wrong people or asking in the wrong way, okay? But if we're going to invest in our youth, then let's really invest in our youth. Let's do that, let's volunteer. All we gotta do is look over at Richmond. They're investing in those youth over there, okay? All right? And we can do that too, we can do that too. So, when you talk about the kids and everything, we gotta talk about what kind of community do we wanna have, right? What I see Tallulah is a livable retirement community. And what I mean by that is Candace, the livable part. We gotta have something for these young people here to do, okay? Somewhere for them to work. When Tallulah was thriving, it was an entrepreneurial base, right? Almost every business was owned by somebody. So, we gotta do that, okay? I wrote a brownfield grant, $500,000. We were able to go up, all the way down, up and down Depot Street and some of the side streets. All I wanted to do was go in, assess those buildings for them, tell them, hey, you have lead paint, you have asbestos, you have whatever the case may be. And after they get their assessment, I'm gonna give them probably about 60 days to do something with your property, and then I'm gonna start finding, okay? Because if you bought that property, it's up to you to do something with it. If you don't wanna do anything with it, and sell it to somebody who can do something with it. We also have, so we've got 13 empty spots up and down Depot Street. Then we've got 13 different businesses, retail businesses around town, okay, that we can fill as well. We've got somebody coming in, you guys know where D&J Wings is, right on, right across the street from BP, okay, with the new little cookery there. We've got a gentleman in the community, he's getting ready to tear pretty much all of that building down except those last two ones closest to KFC and put up a new building there, okay? So we have some people here who wanna do some things, but what they're scared of is, if I invest my money into one of these businesses, is somebody gonna put a business here that's gonna be sustainable, okay? They put money in, they wanna make sure that they're gonna get their money back. So we gotta show where we can have these young kids coming along with the businesses that we need. We don't have anything here sell salads. You don't have to be open all day long, you can be open from 10 to 2, okay? We have to stop and think about those type of businesses that we, you know, that we can sustain and that we need. On a large scale, this is the way it's happening now in the state. Louisiana Economic Development, they have what's called a certified site listing. So, certified site is, if I'm a developer, right, and I'm thinking, I might wanna go to Louisiana, let me see what they have. I go online to Louisiana Economic Development, I look at their sites, and these are sites that are shovel-ready. They're ready to go, okay? And that's how the Meta Center, and that's how all these other different businesses are coming, because that place that they came into has some sort of certified site. And that's what we need in Tallulah. Now, we've got the land out on the highway. Good land, access to it sucks, okay? And it's very, very hard. It's gonna be hard to work with. But we also have the Chicago Mill site, right here in town, right on 80, right on 65. Rail spur goes into it from the port. And it's privately owned, but LED has a program where they can work with privately owned folks. So that's the type of things that I'm looking for. Building our entrepreneurial base, working with the state to get something big in here, because we're gonna need something to keep these young people here. And if there's nothing, then they're gonna leave and they're gonna go someplace else. We all know about our infrastructure, our water, our sewer, our roads, okay? Haven't been putting the money into it, and we see where it goes, right? It is what it is. So we're trying to do something with the water right now. I put in for some grant money for our lift stations and our sewer plant. But when we get down to roads, guys, there's only so much money. There's only like $100,000. And is that patching or trying? You're not gonna do a road for $100,000 unless it's just from here. Yes, ma'am.
And I love what you're saying. So it's gonna be a series of town halls. This is supposed to be an introduction and questions from our youth, and to really hone in and focus in on our youth, because we're in a dire state. They hate this place. They want to go, and a part of why I'm here is because I had a community of people that invested in me. And so we need a community of people that's going to invest in them. And so I know, Dr. Butler, you are not a candidate, but if you can talk to the people, talk to the candidates about what it is, how you need support within the district. Yes, sir, you can speak.
Okay, well, that's my main reason for coming. I want to hear the candidates' plan over the next 3 months before election time of how they speak according to the school system. What I mean by that, they say we need money. Of course we need money. What brings money to a town? Business, right? So if we don't have business, we can't collect any taxes that come to the school system. If I have a parent, Tallulah has lost half its population since I was little, and we continually lose the population. So when a parent leaves Tallulah, what they do with their kids? We take the kids too. That's how the school gets funded. We get funded by something called MFP. When you take your kid, you take the money from the school system. Just on average. Okay? It's about $8,000 to $10,000 that you get per kid. So if you lose 100 kids, you lost almost $1 million. Just like that out of the budget. On top of that, you lose teachers. You have to cut. And that's one of our problems that we've gotten into right now in the school system, because we have too many people hired, because, like you mentioned, if you get grants, you can't sustain those grants. Those grants are only here for a small period of time. So we hired a lot of people under those grants. Then it was time the grant to go away. We had to cut personnel as well. Okay? So I want to hear from the candidates over the next 3 months. One is how we plan on bringing businesses. One is housing. Let me tell you, too many times, let's just say Starlight. Starlight has been going X amount of years. There were people living in Starlight, right? Where they go? A lot of them left. Went to Rayville, got a lot of our students. Again, that's students out of the school system. Okay? So we gotta find ways to keep our kids. I'm not a politician. I'm not caring to be a politician at this point. My job is just thinking about Madison Parish School District. and how to keep our kids here so that we can offer them programs. It takes money to offer programs. You gotta have teachers to teach those programs. They gotta be certified in most cases. Then, now I'm in competition. Our salary can't go up because we don't have enough revenue coming in because you gotta pay. So now the attraction is, oh, Mississippi right there in Vicksburg, they just gave a $5,000 raise, okay? So it's hard to compete when you don't have finance coming into your town because we get the money for taxes to come to us with our kids. The last one, after housing. Oh, let me go back to housing. We have a lot of foreign teachers. They want to stay in Tallulah. And I remember looking for places for them to stay in Tallulah. They can't stay. So again, that's our money again. Walking away from Tallulah. Because now they gotta go find somewhere to stay, which is probably in Vicksburg. Okay, most of them do. So there you go again. The little tax money that we have for housing going over to Vicksburg, not coming back here. Lastly, recreation. Recreation is important to me because it kept me out of trouble as a youth. By the time I finished doing basketball, football, the gym with Coach Riggs, you think I want to go somewhere and fight and hang out? I want to go home and ready for the next day. Our kids don't have nothing to do. Okay? We know sports is going to keep you out of trouble. Sports is just everything. It keeps kids engaged and out of trouble. Okay? Because if you want to play it, now I got a carrot to dangle in you. Hey man, you got to come to school. You got to be working in order to play. Or just whatever. Give them something to do. All right? So we got to have recreation. The schools have been open. If I can find someone to work with me in the school, we can handle it during the daytime. Y'all can handle it in the evening. So somebody from the city can come run it for X amount of dollars till, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening. I'm sure we can work that out with our school board, make sure that we have insurance for if anything happens. Somebody with the city can run it, pay an employee to have recreational sports. And that is one of the reasons why I got the track to be used, because of when COVID was here, we couldn't be inside, so we had to be outside. So we have to play outside sports, outside entertainment, or whatever the case might be. So now we got turf field to do a lot of stuff, not just sports. We can have events out there. It's just set up for us to have certain things. But I'm just superintendent. My focus is the school system. So those 3 things, businesses coming in to help parents stay here and don't leave, because when they leave, they take their kids. Secondly, housing for our teachers and other people and kids to stay in housing, and then recreation. So the next 3 months, that's what I'm gonna be listening to for candidates to see who I want to vote for. And that's it. It's nothing personal. I want a person that's gonna come in and see how they can help me in the school system. Period. All right, I'll do that.
Can I just say, I'm feeling left out. And the reason being is that we've talked about everything, but my job is tourism. And a couple of years ago, my first beef is that this place is filthy, dirty. Everywhere you look, you see a pile here, a pile there. I'm guilty too at some point, but I tried to clean it up. But I had a group of travel writers to come through Tallulah to do a story. I sat in Shreveport in this big meeting trying to figure out what route should they take to come to Tallulah without seeing all the mess that we have, Scott. Travel writers, go all over the country, write stories, put yourself in the map. But anyway, I had to wrap up from Shreveport, come to Monroe, 17 going to Lake Providence, and come back up from Lake Providence up to Tallulah. because of all the trash that they would have seen had they come the way they wanted to. They came, they did a story on the Crescent Plantation, Hermione, and Milligan's Bend. Those stories went all over the country in travel magazines. See, a lot of you guys go, what's she doing over there? Well, I'm trying to get people to come and visit us. But one of the problems we have is that for our tourists, even our tourists who come, the bayou used to be a very beautiful site. When I was working in D.C. back in '72, Life magazine, do you remember the Life magazine, the big ones? They had the most gorgeous picture of our bayou in Life magazine. Travel writers had been through here. They didn't have the name of the town, but they had the bayou and described how beautiful it was. And you had Delta Airlines pilots, when planes would fly over Tallulah, they would always point to the bayou. Now, what I want to say is that volunteerism, I think someone mentioned the fact that we don't volunteer. And that is a problem. If any of you candidates could come up with a plan, which I have one I'll share with you, on how to keep Tallulah in particular clean. Because if you notice, the state of Louisiana has Keep Louisiana Beautiful. I attempted to be a part of that last year, had planned everything, but the rain, the weather was bad. My church, Seventh-day Adventist Church, was gonna help me do that. I plan to do it again this year, but I need people like you to just volunteer. I have all the equipment that I needed from last year because I couldn't use it. But the point is that businesses are not gonna come to a town where it's dirty and filthy. They're not gonna come. They're gonna come, they come in as, you know, these undercover people. They scope out the area before they approach you. I'm having problems talking. And that's one of the problems that we don't talk about it too. It looks like, I hate to say it, but I used to tell my friends, girl, how you staying down there? I sent a picture. It looks like a third world country in some areas. Tallulah looks like a third world country. You need to go to a third world country to see how bad we are. We really are. When I was in Tokyo, you could pick up and eat off the ground, sidewalk. You didn't see any trash. The taxi drivers, when they would stop at the stop sign, they'd get out, they had this feather brush. I thought people was leaving me, abandoning me in downtown Tokyo. They were wiping the windshield, dusting it. When the Japanese come through here, the Chinese, they're looking to see how clean we are, and then they're gonna look at the educational system, and then ours. But the first point is cleanliness. And before we do anything, we're gonna have to clean up. I know the city has started knocking down, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I see you're tearing down some buildings in your burning. Excuse me. Yes, and I'm getting excited. But we need to have volunteers. The reason I stopped doing the festival is because I could not get volunteers. Okay, that's the reason. I was getting money, but I couldn't get volunteers. 2018 was the last year I did it. The morning after the festival, I couldn't get out of bed.
Let me just say something, just to piggyback on a couple of things that you
Hold on, interim mayor. So we got Miss Fountain, and it's now about to be 7 o'clock. We have 2 other town halls, y'all. Oh no, it's okay. We have 2 other town halls, and the next one is to change the vote. Yeah, we got another town hall. I can't tell you the name of it right now, but it's gonna be right before what's that week before the runoff, the general election? Early voting. Thank you. All right, Ms. Fountain, can you tell us about your vision and where you got in your vision?
I'm centering my vision around breaking barriers and building bridges. And we're focusing on the kids at this town hall, right? So it's all about changing the trajectory for the kids. When I was growing up, we did have people that poured into us. We had kids camp clinic where we went to kids camp after school, and we also went on field trips. We didn't have to pay anything. I know times have changed. Mr. Washington was my 4th grade teacher. He is from Tallulah. He was in the community. So it was always good to have teachers that looked like us and that gave us the insight. You know, I'm from Tallulah and this is what I did. I had the opportunity to study abroad. I went to Italy, and guess what? I had to come before my former 4th grade teacher and the Grambling Alumni Association, and they stole a seed in me because they saw something in me. And of course, Mr. Washington was my teacher. Do you think he was gonna donate something to somebody who was not the child that they needed to be in school? I would say. And I know I am an educator, so I do teach. I decided to come back to my community and help build my community because this is where I'm from, and I know that we are capable of great things, and we can compete with anybody else in any other state and any other city because we are capable of doing that. But we know the school to prison pipeline is a real thing. So my goal is to help work with the school to work pipeline because our kids don't know what they need to when they get out as far as civics. Civics was my favorite subject. I always scored high with social studies and civics tests because we get it. With state math and English is very important. But they get out into the real world and in school they don't believe that social studies is important, but those are the skills that they need. They need to know how to go, they need to know checks and balances. I am a jazz specialist, so I do teach my kids Robert's rules. They know parliamentary procedures. So they can watch a meeting and be like, oh, well, no, that was not right, or things like this. So that's my goal, and I believe that we can do that here. And as I said, it's a lot of us that are willing to stay and help grow, but we do have to do something with our youth because we didn't have these issues. It was a lot that things like that's going on today, they did not occur when we were teenagers. I mean, teens and younger because we had things to do. And we had people that poured into us. We were a part of the T-ball team, things like this. So every weekend or every day after school, we did have something to do and somewhere to go.
Thank you so much for that, Ms. Fountain. Okay, you all, we are about to do our last round, and so leave us with something that people need to know about your plan. Alright, so we got a couple things before we even do this round. We know that we need to be actually coming up with a concrete plan. Not these lofty dreams and, shoulda, coulda. No, we need a plan. We need that documented. We need goals. We need all of that. We cannot accept this subpar stuff anymore. We just will not have it. And so the next town hall, we need your platform, and it needs to be listed out. People need to be able to go and reference it when they're talking to you. These are the expectations going forward. We need that. Tallulah needs that. Look how long we've been where we are. All right, let's leave. Until next time, what you want to do?
Can I make a couple of comments? There's a couple of statements here. Just a couple of things here. One of the questions asked earlier was that if you're not a winner, if you don't win the position, do you just go away and come back 4 years later? That's and what individuals need to know is that myself personally, when I have run for this office, and I've not been successful. First thing I've done is I've gone to each one of the winners and said to them, whatever it is I can do personally to help you with your agenda, then I am available for that. I am willing to do that. And I've always done that, and any of the will be able to tell you that. I've made myself available for that. And then we talk about, then the comment was made about you can't come and you gotta be consistent in individual lives. Can't come and go every 4 years. Well, one of the things that you need to know is that I don't have a job here. I have an agency. The government offers me, uses my skills to do what they need to do. And when I'm away from town, that's where I am. I'm out working, and I don't think anybody's going to pass that is going to, just because you don't see me, does not mean that I am not fully invested in Tallulah and Tallulah's youth. When I support many youth activities in this community, financially, and when I am physically available, then I do that as well. And those are things that individuals don't know, don't see, and spread and tell the lie about Arthur Lee. If they'd taken the time and asked Arthur Lee those kind of things, instead of making those broad sweeping statements about not being here and available and those kind of things, and not being consistent in the lives of youth, then they would know better. Okay? They would know better and would be more mature and respecting in comments that they make about individuals and individuals. And as I say this, that youth and seniors have always been what I have always placed my particular emphasis in my life. Because of seniors, they afford me the opportunity to be where I am, to have achieved those things that I've achieved. And youth, I am a firm believer that I have to give back to my community. I could have stayed in Seattle, Washington, and been just as active in that community. But God afforded me the opportunity to travel around the country and see things and programs that are available to potential programs that are available to Tallulah. And when I go in, I work with city officials, and one of the questions I ask them always is, how did you bring this program to your city? Because this is what I want to bring to Tallulah. I love this program to be in Tallulah. And leaders that I have gone to cities, they will tell you, they know Arthur Lee personally because he asks those questions, he stays with them. And again, I say this, a consistency, because I'm not in town, because I have a job that I can't get a job in Tallulah, so I have to go with someone who wants to utilize the many skills that I have and that I've acquired over the years to benefit them and other people, other depressed communities. And because you don't see me in town, I am as much a resident of this town as anyone else. I pay as many taxes as anyone else, and if whatever else expenses are on any citizen in this town, Arthur Lee pays his share. He does not, okay? And so I just like for individuals to know, and please stop telling the thing that he doesn't live here because you don't see him here. He comes every 4 years. Please, whoever you are, and you're telling that around the town, be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, and there are many people around you who will tell you that Arthur Lee he's a citizen in Tallulah, he's a member, a resident of Tallulah, he contributes to Tallulah, and he contributes to the youth of Tallulah. And that's why, and I just like to say that around here, okay, because that's not the first time. The comment that was made earlier tonight is not the first time that it was said, and it needs to know that there's no truth in it, and thank you.
So, and I don't think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that it wasn't a personal attack.
Did not take it as a personal attack.
Okay.
It's misinformation. And
Yes,
there's
sir.
a difference in the two.
And I don't think that it was wholeheartedly directed towards
I
you.
promise I cleared it up.
Okay, all right.
I cleared it up with my tongue. I cleared it up.
I'm coming, Mr. Mitchell. Hold on, go ahead.
This is my thing. This is why I make that statement, okay? It didn't just start with you. Understand? Let me finish. Let this finish. It wasn't just directed towards you. I said that there's candidates that always run for mayor. And I've asked this when they're basically seeking re-election. You know, some individuals. Mr. Watts was at the meeting. I think Pastor Branchman had been there. And I asked, if you guys do not win the race, it was at TA truck stop in that room. I went in politics. I asked, if you all do not win, are you willing to come and work with whoever wins and share your ideas with that administration to make it work? Now, this is my concern. We all have jobs. I have a job. But if my job keeps me away from Tallulah for 3.5 years, then how is it that I can come back in the last 6 months now and do things?
Hold on, Mr. Williams. Hold on, Mr. Williams. Hold on.
That is personal.
All right. So, we hold on. Wait a minute. We're gonna stop this. All right. So, before we even go to anybody else, let's get our feet planted firmly on the ground. Get your feet planted firmly on the ground. Like this. Like this.
I'm finishing this.
Hold on, Mr. Williams. Because we want to just nip this in the bud. We got 2 other town halls.
I got you.
Alright. So, and I don't want to get too far off into this because we're at almost 7:05. Alright. So, alright. 1 minute.
This is what I'm saying, okay? Last year, in the past 5 years, I have not lost in the first round of the playoffs in 5 years. We lost this past year in 5 years. And my kids, as far as the football team and students and coaches, we think you got off track. Because you got so consumed with the city of Tallulah stuff, to where you really didn't dig into what was going on with your football program. So what I'm saying is, I have a job, and I do realize I got off track. Some stuff kind of took me when I started seeing different things in documents. Then when I look at it, I start looking, okay, this is not right, this is not right. How can we get it straight? So you can look. So I have a job as well. So my concern for Tallulah stays there. So when I'm saying your job, I'm not saying your job is not important. But what I'm saying is I can still be visible. I can still be vigilant, and I can still be vocal whether I'm here or not. So, like I said, I got so consumed with stuff with Tallulah to where I lost track of my football team. So I'm not saying Mr. Lee don't care about Tallulah. What I'm saying is my concern for Tallulah can still be voiced whether I'm here or not. I can show up, I can write letters, I can get in touch with my council person. Matter of fact, one of the things I got on my thing when you said going around. And I'm gonna continue.
Alright.
So my concern should still be able to go there.
And I do agree with it. You know, and not based upon you, I'm just saying, we all have to be present.
Right.
It doesn't matter if we're running for candidate. Oh shoot, y'all, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if we're running for candidacy or not. The problems of Tallulah continue. That means that we need everybody's vision here. I don't care if you at McDonald's or you don't even have a job. We need you. You can take one child. Check on that child's grades, whatever it is. And Mr. Lee, a part of your issue may be, I don't announce everything that I do in Tallulah. And I've done a lot. I don't broadcast it. I don't do nothing because God gets the glory for every seed that I plant, for everything that I do. And that may be a part of what the concern is. They don't know. People may not know.
And that's why I'm saying to you, comments like he's out of town for 3.5 years. Comments like that are not
I mean,
necessary.
you're gonna have to take that as a grain of salt. You can come through some
That's
more
real.
hard stuff than where you stay and how long you gonna be here if you're running for mayor. If that hurt you, then the job ain't for you. See, it's coming from the citizen of Tallulah.
I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm hearing what you're saying. Accurate information is also important.
And it's just, it's just, you have to prove what you do. All right, Mr. Mitchell, what are your final thoughts? What do you want people to know?
Well, you have to show yourself as being real supporters when you're taking on certain things. You have to be convicted. You can't just stop because what's going on, what around you, what's being said. If you are mayor or councilman, you got to be able to speak on something when it's relevant, and you can't back away from it. You got to be real with people. You can't say you're going to do something that you can't do, but sometimes you're saying that you're going to try to fix it, but you can't do it by yourself because you got 4 council members there. The mayor is just a manager and a spearhead, so you can't hold them always responsible. So we all 5 got to play as a team. If it's something that's going to take the city forward, we all need to be on that and go for that. But some people, they cannot see what's good for Tallulah. They only look at what's bad.
Excuse me, y'all. We still have people that are talking. Can you be quiet?
When all of us vote for what we see as being positive for the city,
Thank you so much, Mr. Mitchell. Interim Mayor Lewis.
So I think Dr. Butler had a good call.
I'm so sorry. Excuse me, my love. Mr. Mitchell, I do apologize about that. Mr. Wells started talking. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, he came in, he wanted an alibi, so, all right, this is what I got to say, talking about coming. After 2022, I never stopped supporting the city. The people, and the official law, I probably give them the city hall, but there's other things to do to make the city work better. Same thing in all these organizations, like along 10 organizations, the president of most of them, always giving input, things to do to improve, but it's got to be done. And like I said, talking about the big picture, I started talking about when I gave that memorandum to all the city leaders. That was the starting point right there. You got to do basically what everybody said in the room today. 5 years, 4 or 5 years later, still talking about it. You got to do it. Doing it together will make it happen. And again, kids, I donate to everything in the book. I spent $1 million, but I donate to everything in the book. All organizations, every store, patient, it has everybody. So I know I've been here and put in work, whether I get credit for it or not. And I can get the detail, I can cite pages of work that I've done. You mean, ask anybody to pat me on the back? Not necessarily. I know what I do.
One thing I'll say about making Tallulah, Ms. Johnson mentioned about getting together to help clean up. I wish that Ms. Johnson. And what I suggested is that each council member can bring a report of things that need to be done in their district, as far as cleaning up different areas or having a cleanup day in each district where we can work on cleaning up this particular area. So we can move towards that with the city initiative, like each council member come up with a day that we're gonna clean up our district. And we go across the whole town to get everything beautified. That way you want to worry about finding a certain route that people can take, but we come collectively say, okay, District 5, I got someone called me about right there behind the post office, about a lot of trash and stuff in the ditch. So now I'm trying to coordinate to get that stuff cleaned up. Each council person can come and say, well, these are things that we need to be done in our district for us cleaning up, different things like that. Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Mitchell, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, because I've given so many proposals out to so many different people, but I learned to stop trying to tell people how to do their job and actually do what I can do. And so that's the difference. Because how to tell somebody else, I'm not in that position, I can't tell them how to do their job, but I can do what I can do. And this is a part of what I can do. And so we have to take that with a grain of salt. We gotta stop waiting on other people to do something because we think they can do it better.